New Bethel's in the house. Praise the Lord to Bishop Turner and Mr. Wanda. God bless you. To all my intercessors Della, and my man Traco, what's up? To Charles Armstrong and the San Bernardino posse.
Something's going on. 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 Something's going on.
Good morning, good morning. I'm so busy looking at DJ and lost her weight and everything. She's looking so wonderful, and I wanted to be encouraging because it's difficult to lose weight.
Yes, it is.
I told somebody the other day, I said, I don't know. Somebody says you're going to lose some weight. You start saying, what? Well, listen, I got a great lineup, and I have to get serious because you know what? You know who I got coming over here. I got the Representative Charlie Wrangles calling me this one.
All right.
And I get so charmed when I do that because I have a special place in my heart for him.
Oh.
And then I got some guy. I don't call him no guy. I got the chief.
Wow.
Chief Mandela.
Mandela.
Yes, his brother or his son, whatever.
I see you got dressed for the
I'm fine. And then I got all these fabulous people coming, health people, Anna Garcia, and I got another gentleman who's Amiri Baraki, some kind of play they've done. And then I got the ice skating crew. Sharon Lopez is calling me. And I got a very young lady who won out in the film festival as well. She's going to give us a shout out. So everything is really working and ready. And let's just see. You know, I've been away, of course, as everybody knows, and going away, you know, you really don't realize how you really go away, and it's something up in the air, or some kind of feelers went out, and you know, all of a sudden my phone stopped ringing, and I thought, I get calls. Can I come on? And this week I got like nothing. So I said, you know what? Let me figure out who I'd love to have. And I said, let me try Charlie Wangle. And when he comes on, we'll begin to talk about that current issue and all the wonderful things that are to be said about that, and things that he wants us to know, as well as all the other people that have been giving me a ring. So we shall see what goes on. I have just been enjoy being home. You know, there's an old saying, the quicker you go, the better you come back, and I'm so happy to have gone to Hawaii. In fact, I talked to Danelle Richards yesterday, and I thanked her so much for her assistance in terms of the trip to Hawaii on the Pride of America Independence yacht. And she said, well, I'm coming on the air. And I said, please come on. please come on and talk about some of the yachts and adventures like that leave the New York coastline. So we're going to have her on one day, and that's going to be very exciting. So we got all that going, and then I spoke to all the friends of mine who I happen to be with in California and all, and they're all back and settled down again, and we all got together last night and spoke, and we had a very, 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 very nice trip. So that's kind of finish on that level. And then the other part is that I'm back to looking at MSNBC, and I just want you to tell everybody that Joy Reid is so fabulous. You gotta look at her. It's what's a wonderful thing to be involved with a group of people like Joy Reid, and then find out later that you've watched her grow. And when she first got on the air, she was so not the type that gets before the camera. And I hate to say that, but she had these very Negroic features, and, she had, Negroic hair, and she was, and she is fabulous. And I mean, she is fabulous. So I just want everybody to know that. Hello?
Hello, guess who we have on the line?
Who do you have? Who is it? Could it be Charlie Rangel?
Hi there, how are you? Good morning.
Hi there. How are you, Charlie Rangel? Representative Charlie Rangel. I'm so happy to have you here this morning. And I thought as I asked you to come here, I thought to myself, I said, I want to start off with saying to him, I know there's some part of your morning and your week that has been filled with the loss of Basil Patterson. And
it wasn't just me, it was our community and our country lost a great warrior, and I've never heard anybody ever said a unkind word about Basil Patterson.
You're so right. And I saw a picture of you and him and Percy Sutton in the newspaper, and I went like, oh my God, that's them. I figured I don't know.
Long time ago, wasn't it?
Yes, and you all look so young and gorgeous and handsome. And there you were, of course, representing Harlem, which we love and certainly adore. Whenever I get ready to speak to you, Representative Charles Rangel, I say to myself, Gene, you're political, but not that political. And you know a little bit, but not that much. And I said, but you love Charlie Rangel. He's sort of like a part of your family here in Harlem. And I said to myself, when Charlie Rangel comes on, let him be able to speak his own words. And I wanted to start off with saying to you, how is the race going with you? How is it coming along here? Because I get two sides. Some say, oh God, pray for Charlie, work hard with him. And then others say, he's doing fine, don't worry about it. What's going on, Charlie?
I remember there was a guy named Emmanuel Seller in the House, and he was there for 40 years. And then he lost to Liz Holtzman. Everyone said, hey, Manny, what was the problem? He said, the problem was everyone said I had no problem. So I got a problem. The main reason for it is not my competency, experience, or my ability to better serve this community in Washington with the president. The problem is they added a new part to the congressional district going into the Bronx, and I'm afraid people don't talk about it, but when my opponent says that if Dominicans don't vote for him, they're traitors, I think he's polarizing the community, and a lot of people are more concerned that they can say that someone who would make history in terms of being the first Dominican. But it's America, it's a democracy, it's something that I feel confident that in the 50 years that I served in public life within my congressional district, we've never had a contest based on color or language or where someone was born. because we always want to make certain that we won. And that's true whether we're talking about Patterson, Dinkins, or Sutton. We brought people together, and they learned to respect each other. And once they gain the support of the political subdivision, as I have earned over 43 years, then you race on the merit, but you don't race on the race. So I'm getting strong union support. I got the House leadership. They can't do much, but it's an indication that you bet your life that I'm the best one they can work with. And last night, District Council 37, the largest municipal union in the country, endorsed me. And of course, Bill Clinton and Gail Brewer, the president. So it's going to be rough because merits is not the issue. And the most important thing at this point is to get people to come out and vote on June the 24th. No one else will be on the ballot, unfortunately. The state legislature could have brought all of the state races, primaries, to June. It would have saved $50 million. It would have had a bigger turnout. But, there's some people in the state legislature that want to run into Congress and run us against me. And then when you lose, go back in September and run for the state seat. So the most important thing is to let people know that if they're concerned at all about their member of Congress, there's only two elections, one in June 24th, which is the primary, and the other, of course, is the general election in November. And a community like ours, once you get the Democratic nomination, there's very, very, very little Republican opposition.
Well, Charlie Rangel, Representative Charlie Rangel, I think one of the things that most people who are, and it's so sad, and it's not even said in a negative way, but people say to me, well, what has he done? What are the things that he is running on? What has he done for Harlem? And of course, you have been here for many, many years. I can't remember when you weren't here. And I say to myself, well, we've always felt like a big family. And, I haven't had a track record where I go, he did it. But what are some of the things that you would like to highlight to our audience about what you've done here in Harlem?
Well, I think the question is usually what have you done lately? Because really, just a couple of months ago, an independent organization that monitors the votes of members of Congress has selected me as the number one congressman in the House and Republican in the last 10 years of having more bills signed into law by a president. And so you can't beat the record.
No.
But if you want to look around and ask the people that are in the New York City Housing Authority what I have done in bringing out money and making certain that the city used it for the purpose, they would say it's Charlie Rangel. If you ask about the President's Affordable Care Act and who is the lead sponsor in the Congress, what we now call Obamacare, it's Charlie Rangel. If you want to ask, well, what tax provision has been used to create 98% of affordable housing, not just in Harlem, but in the country, it's Charlie Rangel. If you were to ask anyone as it relates to, is there one member of the Congress that has really established trading relationships with the United States that never existed before? I think the African Growth and Opportunity Bill, which is my bill, is the only one, and it's expanding. And then, of course, there was a big gap in the Caribbean, and I passed the Caribbean Basin initial bill. A lot of people don't know about the earned income tax credit, but I might say you can go to my website, and it goes on and on and on, but just picking out the things that I'm proud of. When a family with kids, and I've introduced legislation to just say a person, a family without kids, it works every day and finds out that they still below the poverty line. The federal government, of course, doesn't there's no taxable income, but we supplement the income with a check. This allows self-esteem. People don't have to go on welfare. And in most cases, they get an opportunity to gain the experience so that they can get a higher paying job and not have to depend on a subsidy. So, whether we're talking about health, affordable health care, of course, with those that are concerned about our immigration laws, we have 14 million people working in the United States. Some are not paying taxes, but they are the support of the agricultural community, the hotel industry, the restaurant industry. And we can't deport all of these people, nor should we think about it. We can't jail all of these people, and it's only racism that causes Republicans not to allow us to vote on it.
I know.
But if indeed the Republicans just say, I'm not voting against it, but let the Republicans vote their conscience, we got enough votes with the Democrats and some Republicans to pass it, but they won't allow it to come to the floor. All of this sounds so self-serving, because whatever legislative accomplishments I've had, it's been with the support of my Democratic colleagues and the President. Many times I've had to organize the city delegation or the state Democratic delegation in Washington and work with other cities. Right now, I am working on a plan to put a moratorium on luxury housing in the city.
Oh, you are? I was
to concentrate. There's no emergency with luxury housing. There is an emergency with affordable housing.
Oh, is it ever?
And so I'm talking to the Conference of Mayors, since it's not just a Manhattan problem. It's a city problem.
It's a country problem.
That we give to developers, we talk about 80-20. I have said, if we had a health emergency and we were talking about building hospitals, would we just set aside 20% for the sick? So why do we talk about housing developments and have 80% of it going to the wealthy, and sometimes saying that we should go into public housing and take the livable space and put luxury housing? It's insane even to talk this way. So some of the things that I feel that we should be doing in Washington may not require legislation, but would require loyal support of the president, because in his State of the Union message, he made it abundantly clear that he is going to use his executive authority. I met with the president just this year 6 times at the White House and been planning things that we can do to expand job opportunities, improve the tax code and the environment, and to find whether we can get the private sector to do more than they have been doing. Some of them get tax breaks that we should be closing up. But if we lean on them, and of course there's always the churches, the synagogues, because most of the issues we deal with are spiritual rather than just domestic. I mean, we're talking about food, clothing, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare. Healthcare, all of these things
that nobody seems to
less about brothers and sisters. And if you're sick, you don't look for a Republican doctor or a Democratic doctor. So so those are the things that I'm working on. And of course, you know, my wife Alma are also planning after these 2 years to spend some time together, because I've dedicated my whole life to public
I know, which is wonderful as well.
And we're going to relax and enjoy the rest of our lives together.
That's so fabulous. You know, I say to people, and guess, and I hope I'm on the right track, but I always say, just let him stay there long enough to work with Obama. I said, then after that, okay, he could go after that. But give him that much time. And I wanted to say to you, as you spoke, I'm listening to you about some of the wonderful things that you think that you might be doing with Obama, because when I pick up any newspaper, any kind of whatever they want to do, talk about what's going on in the world, current events. Everybody begins with, the middle class has been lost. They have no money. They have the gap is getting wider and wider, and we can't work it out. And it makes me feel so bad, because for so many years, I also think of myself as the middle class, because even if you were a school teacher, you could eat and you could do it. But now, we don't even have a place to live. We don't have, it's just, I see the young people coming out here now. 90% of them are living with their parents and all. And there's just so much to be done, Representative Charlie Rangel. And I just so happy to hear that you're involved in this.
Well, there's no question that it's not the rich and poor that makes our nation great.
Mm-hmm.
It's the ambitions and the attitude that the middle class have made it to the middle class, and they can make it even further. These aspirations are what causes people to come up with creative ideas to work. And when they have resources to buy the things that they need, they buy them from small businesses.
That's right.
That's where the jobs are.
Yes.
And 80% of American jobs are not from multinational, national corporations or manufacturers. They're local, small stores. And if the middle class is not there to buy, and they're not there to sell, they're going to have to hire people. So,
and then nobody makes any money,
So, if the middle class has made this country great, and the unions have had a lot to do with it, because we're still fighting for a livable wage. I got arrested in a protest at LaGuardia Airport because some of the baggage people get paid $3 an hour, and they depend on tips to raise their family and kids. That's wrong. And so we got changes there where the minimum wage is at least almost livable, $10.10. The president's done that with federal contracts, but it's not America to work each and every day, and at the end of the week you're in poverty. That is not America, and you'll never make it to the middle class unless you're able to set aside resources to get there.
I agree. I know we don't have much time, but I'd like to touch upon this. So many times when they speak of you now, and they seem to, I think you insinuated a bit earlier in the interview, that the Hispanic it's their time, or it's not their time. And has there been any rift? Because I always say to them, which I don't know if many people know, that Charlie Rangel is African American and he's also Hispanic. And I said, I don't think that there should be too much division between Hispanic and a black African American who's half and half. What do you have to say about this matter?
I say that there never has been a race in our district that was based on language or whether or not people spoke Spanish or didn't speak Spanish, or whether they were Jew, Christian, or Gentile. And that the question should be, and who is the best qualified to serve our congressional district for the next 2 years? And so the debate would go on, and it's not as though, even though my opponent has called Dominicans traitors that don't support him, I don't think that most Americans think that way. And so I don't get involved in those kind of discussions. All I do is say what I've done, what I'm doing, what I think I can do with the president, and move forward. Whatever decisions people make on where my opponent was born, I can't discuss it because that's not a legislative or a good government issue. My service is based on the fact that I was born on Lennox Avenue, raised on Lennox Avenue, and my heart is my congressional district. And so why would I want to get in a discussion with someone that has other reasons
Yes.
to represent, and those reasons are not based on experience or qualification?
Well, you know what? I know you don't have much time, but you got enough time to tell me this. What can people do or one do to help your ascend and pin down
Just
your?
go to the website and look for charlesbwrangle.com. It's easy for those that can manipulate the iPad and the computers. We got a campaign headquarters, and that number is 212
212
862
862.
4990.
Okay, so that's 212-862-4990.
And they can volunteer, they can help send out mail, they can help raise money for what will be an expensive campaign, and they can find out where the fundraisers are in their neighborhood and join in and help in and volunteer. There's so many things can do when people are excited. It's just hard to get excited when the president's not running, no state legislature are running, the city council is not running, and it's just members of Congress. But it can change the history of our great district, and I just hope, and thanks to you, that we do that. As you keep trying to close this, I'm driving closer to them right now in front of Gracie Mansion.
Oh, you are? You are? So I know you're going to try to close it.
Meeting, so you couldn't have worked this out better because I have to park the
They
car
told me
to
they
get
said
over there.
he's going to Gracie
He's holding
Mansion.
an immigration heritage breakfast this morning, and you ended this in talking, does immigration make a difference?
And here you are, you're going to make it happen right now. Well, listen, Charlie Wrangle, this is not the last time we're going to talk. We got some more discussions forthcoming. But have a beautiful day, and thank you so much for visiting us here at Harlem Community Radio.
Thank you for the opportunity. Please tell people, don't forget June 24th.
I won't.
It's not an exciting political date, but it's the only time they'll be able to vote for members of Congress.
Well, I'm going to have you back to remind them, and please give Alma, your significant other, a big squeeze for me. She's such a wonderful lady.
Thank you so much, and thank you for this opportunity.
All right, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
He's really great. Well, you know what? There we go. As they say, there it is. It happened. Okay, so anyway, well, I just, I think he pretty much tried to answer our questions. So. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing? Who is this?
This is Anna Garcia from the New York Academy of Medicine.
Oh, how you doing, Anna? I announced you were coming on. Flo Wally this morning called me and said that you were going to be the one I get to interview, and that's so wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, fine. I'm having one of my regular mornings, and And if somebody was to, when the good Lord walked by and said, he says, I will make sure you don't know how to push a button, you know. But anyway, Ana Garcia, I love that name.
Thank you.
You got to start telling me what's happening. What's up?
So we are really excited. We're hosting the National Urban Health Conference this Friday with the Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce. This is the 4th National Conference on Urban Health, and we are just excited to let folks in Harlem know and to have a chance to welcome people to the Academy of Medicine.
Oh, that's so fabulous. You know, there's so many things going on in Harlem, and whenever I hear about them, I grab hold of them because, you know, Harlem is just doing so many wonderful things, and I know for a fact that Lloyd Williams is so instrumental in doing so all of this and planting the seed. So who's planting the seed with this health initiative?
Well, that's right. So Lloyd Williams has been instrumental, and he's been thinking about this for several years, and he's been working with our president, Dr. Jo Ivy Buford. She's the president of the New York Academy of Medicine, to think about how can we inform the community and how can we inform leaders in the community about the role that they can take in shaping the health of Harlem residents and New York City residents. You know, a lot of people think health is something that comes out of a doctor's office, that comes out of a medicine bottle, and that's just not the case. Health is produced in the community, and that's what we're going to be talking about on Friday morning.
Well, you know, when you think of that, I really want to, you know, come on, let's go, because I look at I'm just going to say small things, but I remember years ago a friend of she and I, we were running around, you know, sort of jogging in the morning, and you know, the guys used to come out and laugh at us, and so we stopped doing that, and then all of a sudden somebody says, have you looked at in the supermarkets, you know, you don't get enough vegetables, or the meats have expired, and all kinds of environmental issues that you know make for an unhealthy community.
Right.
And I just wanted to know, because what I wanted to discuss, what are you doing environmentally or neighborhood-wise, community-wise, that can help us out?
Right. That's such a good point, you know, and, you know, sometimes we feel like we're victims of our community.
Yes.
You know, when those men are shouting at you, you feel like a victim, and you feel like that's not your space, it's their space, and you surrender it to them.
They're making fun of us because we were running.
That's a terrible feeling.
Yes.
That's a terrible feeling. And it's the same thing when you walk into a grocery store and you see that bad produce, you feel disrespected. And that's why it's so important that we have leaders like Lloyd Williams with the Chamber of Commerce, and that we form these constructive partnerships with business, and we can talk about what we want to see in our communities. And we can say, look, if you put good produce out there, we will buy it. If you make healthy foods available in your restaurant, we will buy it. That's the kind of dialogue we need to have in our communities, so that we all get the respect and the good products that we need in order to be healthy.
Well, you know, somebody was talking just the interview before you with Charlie Rangel, and he was discussing affordable housing,
Right.
And I had heard from the horse's mouth that some realtors or people who were investing in the community had come up and had some of the people in the community raise their hands and say, what would you like here? Like, what would you like to be on 135th Street? What would, you know, and so many of them said, you know, I'd like a Trader Joe's, or, you know, something that's affordable. I would like a bigger drugstore, or, you know, whatever it was, it had to do. And many people picked fruits and vegetables and that kind of thing to be a part of our community. And so when some people say affordable housing, you think, oh, just the house, but you do need the environment as well.
Absolutely. I mean, you need the retail environment to support you. You need jobs that are good and accessible and that you can get to without having to commute 2 hours. You want schools that are healthy and accessible and safe, parks. And this is what we're going to be talking about on Friday. We're actually going to be sharing with people who come a checklist that can help them think about the aspects of their community that they want to improve, that would help sort of add to the health of their own family and themselves. You know, building a healthy community is about empowerment of the community.
Well, you know what? I live right off the Harlem River Drive. And it's just so, I mean, if you looked out there, Anna Cruz, who I'm speaking to now, you would just love it. It is so beautiful. Yet, I am afraid to run down there, up and down there by myself, as opposed to the West Side Drive, which is, you know, general traffic. Everybody runs up and down the Riverside Drive. And I just wish that as a part of the community, I could ask you all to include that too. That these parks and places where you can do outside exercise and all, that they be safe and available to the community.
You are so right. I mean, safety is so important. It's fundamental. We can't ask people to be more physically active if they don't feel safe even crossing their street. So, you know, initiatives like Vision Zero, which the de Blasio administration has been supporting recently, are a really sort of dramatic turn in the way the city thinks about traffic safety and our injury prevention. And I think there's actually going to be a town hall for Harlem to talk about bringing Vision Zero to the neighborhood sometime in mid-June. So this is the kind of thing that we want people to become aware of, that public policy decisions shape your daily life. And so when you have an opportunity to engage with policymakers and with decision-making and the electoral process, like with Representative Rangel, people should take it up because it really makes a difference to your daily life.
Well, you know, there's another aspect of what I call neighborhood community input. The other day I kind of joined it myself, but it's on 135th Street. There's like a bathhouse, and you can go in there, and for, I think it's like $25 a year, you can swim, do exercises, and all of those kinds of things. And then if you're younger, I think they charge you $75, but it's for a whole year.
That's wonderful.
Isn't that wonderful?
That's really great. I mean, to have lower cost opportunities for physical activity is so important throughout the lifespan. It's good for kids, it's good for adults, it's good for older adults. We need it for our physical well-being and for our mental well-being. You know, those opportunities are important stress relievers, and we all need that.
Well, tell me something. You're going to have this big giddy-up get-together. Who's coming? Who's going to be there?
We are hoping to see a great turnout from the membership of the Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce. We want to see businesses there and business leaders. We want to see residents of New York City who are engaged and care about and concerned in building a healthier community. We're going to see community-based organizations. And, you know, we're really excited about the lineup of panelists, but we're also really excited about having an active, engaged audience that's going to ask great questions and get their concerns voiced.
Who's the panelist?
So we've got a panel on community-based interventions that's going to be moderated by our own fantastic Shaniqua Owusu from the New York Academy of Medicine. And we'll be featuring some of our community partners, including Boom Health. Robert Cordero is the very dynamic executive director there. We'll be seeing Monique Hedman from Harlem Hospital, who has a really fantastic Walk It Out program for older adults at Harlem Hospital. And Claudette Jenkins from Abyssinian Development Corporation. Claudette has been just a stalwart in the community for, I think, over 40 years, and she's been developing a really innovative leadership program for older adults we'd like people to know about. And then
go ahead, please. No, please. I want to hear these names.
And then we have a second panel that is going to be moderated by Patricia Ricketts from the Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce. And she's going to be featuring Kayla Baez from Metro Plus, Silva Omokuru from City Care, and Bernadette McKechnie Brown from Renaissance Healthcare Network. And they're all going to be talking about how their already incredibly valuable healthcare organizations are stepping out and doing even more for the Harlem community. And those are just our panelists. We're also going to have some great headliners, like Manhattan Borough President Gail Brewer is going to be delivering remarks. She's always so dynamic. And Roger Hayes, the Assistant Commissioner for the City Health Department in Harlem, will also be delivering a keynote.
Well, this sounds like... Now, where is it going to take place?
It will be at the New York Academy of Medicine, which is located at 5th Avenue and 103rd in East Harlem.
103rd?
103rd and 5th Avenue, right on the corner there.
5th Avenue and 103rd. I'm trying to figure out where that's down there by the hospital.
That's right. It's north of the hospital and south of El Museo and the City Museum.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, and so is it going to be indoors or out?
It will be indoors. We have a nice auditorium where we'll be welcoming everybody. We'll have refreshments. Things will start off at about 8:45, and we'll wrap up at 1 o'clock.
Oh, so it's going to be all morning.
Right.
All morning into the afternoon.
And actually, I mean, it's a 3-day event. This is just the kickoff.
Oh, it's only it's a 3-day. Okay, so what other days? This is going to what day does it start? On a Friday?
So it's starting this Friday morning.
Yes.
And we'll be all morning at the Academy of Medicine. And then in the afternoon, there's going to be events at Emblem Health on 125th Street. They have their neighborhood care center, which will be open all day for a public open house.
Mm-hmm.
Then on Saturday, there is a youth conference and expo, which will be a really exciting opportunity for young people to get engaged in thinking about health. And events continue through Sunday. And you can get more information about all of this through the NIAM website. That's the New York Academy of Medicine. That's nyam.org. Or you can also go to greaterharlemchamber.org. And you could also, if you prefer to give a call, you could call Ms. Patricia Ricketts at 212-862-7200 and get information from her about the event.
That's 212-862-7200.
That's right.
Oh, wow. Well, you know, this is going to be, you're making a really big deal out of this. I mean, when I say that, I don't want to make like I didn't think it was a big deal, but what I'm saying is that you're extending, because while you were talking, there was one thing, the health care click, another antenna went up, and that antenna was Obamacare.
That's right.
I mean, oh, and then when you said the young people were coming, I was like, Obamacare, you know, I mean, it went up again. And then, in general, it's up. You know, are you all going to be pushing any of that? Or saying for young people to do that?
Yeah, I mean, people forget that Obamacare is about much more than insurance. It's about rethinking our nation's approach to health care.
Yes.
And this idea, this recognition that your zip code is more important than your genetic code when it comes to your health is an integral part of the Affordable Care Act. And there was support for this kind of community, healthy communities in the Affordable Care Act. And it's something we need to turn our attention to now. Insurance is extremely important, but the environment you face on a day-to-day basis is even more so.
Anna Cruz, you know what I think about health care? I think that when you get it, you just the fact that you have it, you feel better.
That's absolutely true.
Like,
I mean, it's a tremendous relief to know that you have access to a doctor.
It pulls out all the stress and strain and all the aggravation and anxiety and high blood pressure and up and down. And all of a sudden you say, "Ooh, I can relax now."
Right.
If I get ill, I know I'll be okay, you know?
Right.
I mean, which all of us at some time or another have some bad moments, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, but I mean, this is really great. And you know what's nice about it is that it's here in the community. And Anna, I'm just so, tell me a little bit about you before you leave. Who are you, Anna? What do you have to do with everything?
So I am the Director of Health Policy at the New York Academy of Medicine. My family is from Cuba. I am a really proud Cuban American, and I am raising my daughter here in New York City, and I love living in New York.
You sound so cute and so young. But you got a big job there, girlfriend.
I do, and I'm proud to have it.
I know, and it seems seemingly like they chose the right person. Well, listen, let's do it again. Everybody, it's going to be Friday.
That's right.
It's going to be Saturday.
Yep.
And some parts of Sunday.
That's
right. And it's going to be all kind of formats and formalities and it's little bites to eat and to nosh on here and there, and most of all you're going to be dealing with your health. And you can go through it again, but let's just say what is the number is 212-862-7200, and then tell them where else they can get in touch with you for other information.
Sure, you can go to www.nyam.org, or you can go to GreaterHarlemChamber.org.
Thank you so much, Anna Cruz.
Thank you.
And lots of luck this weekend.
Thanks very much.
I'm going to be looking around at you all. I might stick my head in.
I'd love that.
Okay, I got to say, where is Anna Cruz? Let me find her. I love you. All right, have a beautiful day, Anna.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, lots of luck. Bye-bye. Yeah, that was fun. You know, I tell you something. You know, there's one thing I got to say. We got to worry about our health. Our health, as they say, our health comes first. And here we go again. Here's somebody calling me, I think. No, wait a minute. Wait. They go. Hello?
Hi, can I speak to Gene, please?
This is Gene.
Gene Parnell, how are you?
Who is this, darling?
This is Sharif Atkins.
Oh, is this for Amiri Baraka?
That is absolutely correct. that is one of the cast of three who is going to be attempting to do justice to Mr. Baraka.
Oh, you know what? I'll tell you this. I went to the thing that they had at the Schomburg in honor of him.
Oh,
was that a fabulous event?
I wasn't able to make it.
Oh, it was so great.
I can imagine that it was.
It really was. And you know, everybody who spoke of him, they didn't overdo it, but they did it.
They did it, right.
And you know, I believe it or not, I'm going to put in some of my status here. He went to Howard University at the time that I was there as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, now, did you actually know him?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
but you know,
did?
not like I'm like, hey, Amiri, let's hang out together. But I did know him.
Oh, wow.
And he used to come and he would stand up on the cafeteria on the tables and shout at us and tell us all kinds of things to do, and you know, and what the raggedy state of events for us all was, and we'd go like, wow, he weird, you know, he's something. We'd be like, oh my God.
The question is, did he move you guys to action, or did you guys just sort of?
Well, you know what? You asked a very good question. He came during an age and era where there was a lot of, you know, and there was also a lot of, you know, what's going on, you know.
Right.
Is he telling the truth? Is he really? Because, you know, what Amiri Baraka did with I'm not pronouncing his name wrong or right, but everybody knows who I'm talking about. He woke us up.
Yeah.
You see, there's certain people who come into this world and they give you a pinch. We're all asleep, you know. We don't know, you know. And he was the kind of person that shook you and said, hey, man, things are bad for you. Wake up and start doing something about it.
You're absolutely right. I mean, it's essentially what he's done with this piece. I mean, what the Classical Theater of Harlem and the National Black Theater are doing should absolutely be applauded. I mean, just paying homage to an artist whose work and contribution, it really holds a unique place in American history. And though Mr. Amiri Baraka is just as a political and artistic figure, you know, he's been called a lot of things, right?
Oh, he's
controversial, incendiary, but I believe, like, just as it relates specifically to this play, Dutchman, I really believe he should be up there on that Mount Rushmore playwright, and maybe not because the play is perfect, but just because, you know,
because of what he is.
Yes, in the context of the times, and even out, it's just made an indelible impact, you know.
Well, you know, I remember when he told the truth in many cases. I don't know about what, because he talks about so many different things, and they took the prize, the Nobel laureate, from him. They took that away?
Yeah, that was a moment when he was considered one of those incendiary figures.
Yes.
And some of the things that he said was not appreciated by a number of group of people. And quite frankly, I'm not an expert on exactly what
Me neither, but he was that controversial.
Yeah, he could absolutely be at times that he definitely sort of bucked the status quo. I mean, quite frankly, that's why I'm a bit, just as an artist, I can make a confession. It's a bit scary. I'm a bit terrified, but I feel like it's in the best and worst way possible.
Yeah.
It's
And when you say that, what do you mean? What do you mean?
In the best way, because one, I have a profound respect for Amiri Baraka, just as a playwright.
Yes.
And for having left us something to chew on for generations. And I see it as long as, as well as Lorenzo and Ambien, my two co-stars in the play, we see it as our job and duty to just give the best interpretation of this character as we possibly can, by inhabiting the heart and soul of these characters. But, the truth of the matter is, as an actor, I'm terrified in the worst way possible simply because, it's a lot of work to go into, It's a play with this kind of, like ferocity, and musculature. I mean, it's a short piece, but it's like a 400-meter dash, where it's not a 100-meter dash, well, for full-out sprint, but you got to run fast.
I'm going to take you this way just for a moment. But you so many times when you do, it's just like the guy who defended this lawyer who defended a rebel rousing sort of a man of the what I call, I can't think of the word, but he was a person who wanted everything, a fighter, a Martin Luther King, an Adam Clayton Powell, and he was denied a position because with the Obama cabinet, because he had defended a person who he had nothing to do with, but just because he defended it, he couldn't get the position. And I've often thought of people who act in the plays. I'm getting so long to tell what I want to say, but people like you who play Amiri Baraka and all, are they ever at any issue with the outside world because they played it? They don't get another role, or they have issues with them?
As a result of doing a piece like The Dutchman. Yes. You know what? I don't believe that would be the case here. I mean, yes. What's interesting is this: as actors, we're charged, or even as creators, we're charged with, as my director Carl Caulfield would say, making legible for the audience. Essentially what Amiri Baraka has created is a dramatized discourse on race. Right, and it's a heck of a task because there are a multitude of issues being discussed, and there are multiple layers, that we're charged with pulling back like an onion, So I don't think that, I believe it's such, having won the Obie Award in 1964, this being the 50th anniversary of the piece. Mr. Baraka having recently made his transition, I think all of these things, put it in the context and light of, okay, you know what? This is a piece that has relevance and speaks even to today's current society. I mean, because it clearly had a tremendous amount of relevance in the context in which he painted it, which was essentially in 1964 what it meant to be black in America. But I think it also holds that same sort of relevance even today, even in that same context of being black in America, because I believe that's really where a lot of its power and a lot of its strength comes from. I believe that it's interesting though, because it's a play about asking the questions of who you are authentically in the context of your race, your gender, in the context of the culture and society that you live in, in the historical context with which you sort of enter into this world. Like, who are you authentically and individually?
Well, what makes a great person like Amiri Baraka is that you could do that. You could talk about it in 1964, and here we are in 2014, and it's still relevant.
Yes, and that's why I tell you, the Mount Rushmore, Mount Rushmore, that is his brilliance. That is his brilliance in this particular piece. I've had the privilege of really sort of delving, even in the short rehearsal period that we have had, I've had a privilege of delving into some of his other writings, like Blues People, Negro Music in White America, and looking at some of his interviews and just his take and understanding of what that meant and the history of black people here in America. It was strong. It was really, really strong. And I said earlier I was terrified, but admittedly, as terrified as I might be, just to do the best that I can, I also have found myself in this process just really alive, and working with my co-stars, Ambien Mitchell and Lorenzo Scott.
So what is the three of you do? I mean, what do you talk about in instant? Because I've never seen The Dutchman. I'm going to go see it, by the way.
Oh, gee, we got to get you a front row.
I know. You got to know. I got to go.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, you know what? We spent the first week, like I said, it is such a layered piece. We spent the first week just philosophizing and talking about what does these mean? What did he intend? How did it impact us? What did it feel? What does it feel like? That whole sense. And then very, very shortly, Carl Pofield, who in his own right is a fearlessly creative, but always collaborative director. He said, "You know what? Okay, let's get it up on its feet. Let's just get it up on its feet, and let's see what we can find, see what we can discover in the text and in the characters that you guys are beginning to sort of analyze and take a peek into." And it's just been a really, really enlightening experience.
I'm sure that it's if for lack of a better word, it's therapeutic.
Yeah,
I mean, because it's so rare and so few times that we are forced, and I say forced because we take life as it is, to reevaluate and see who are you, what is happening to you, and why are you the way you are. And those are very deep and long, drawn out issues with all of us as individuals. And if you have to act out a role that has been worded and dialogued for you to be that character, you have to immediately start thinking that all those things about yourself.
It's very interesting that you would say that, because a young woman that I am working with myself personally to help create the character, Shannon, we both talked about the significance of understanding and having an empathy towards the character, and seeing in that character elements that you can also see in yourself. How can you adopt the point of view of the character to best inhabit it and best sort of illustrate the end that Amiri Baraka had in mind for the piece?
Well, you know what? Tell me something. Where is this piece going to be? Where are you going to be with this?
The performance is at the National Black Theater in Harlem.
On 125th Street?
Say again?
Is that on 125th Street?
That is correct, 125th Street, yeah.
That's at 125th and 5th Avenue, right?
125th and 5th Avenue, exactly correct.
Okay.
And it opens on the 3rd of May.
Okay.
It runs through, now it's a short run, so, tell your folks to get out there as quickly as you can. It starts May 3rd, ends May 23rd. Again, the Classical Theater of Harlem is producing, along with the National Black Theater, and surrounding the piece, they're also going to have a conversation and discourse about some of the themes of the play, and they're going to have a few community engagements sort of surrounding that and taking a look at the history and a retrospective on the Black Theater movement. So they're really doing it. I think they're really, really, really doing the job of exalting Amiri's piece and really giving it its due and its justice on its 50th anniversary.
Oh, and it is his 50th anniversary. Oh, I tell you, this is so exciting. I mean, as he goes, I can say I know him, but you know what? Give me your names and all again, so we can look forward to that. What is your name?
Oh, absolutely. My name is Sharif Atkins, and I play the role of Clay.
Okay.
My co-star, Ambien Mitchell, plays the character of Lula.
Yes.
And then my co-star, Lorenzo Scott, plays the character of the conductor.
Well,
and I would be remiss not to mention our director, Carl Cofield, who is leading the artistic charge. It's one heck of a hill to climb, but we're doing it with his mentorship and leading and just having a really, really, really great time. And God willing, when all of you guys come out and check it out, you will be as amazed and provoked to thought and all manner of things as we've been just in this process.
Oh, thank you so much. And wait a minute. I'll see you there. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
I will be there. Okay.
This would be excellent because Gene, this is my first interview for this play, so this is a very special relationship we have. So we got to see you now. It'd be great to see you in the opening.
Oh yes. Okay. Well, I'm a call to make sure wait a minute. Is that Osby's there? I'll be there. I love you so much. Thank you so much. And this has been a wonderful interview. And Miri Baraka would be so proud of you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. So I'll talk to you.
Seeing you soon.
I'll see you May 3rd. Is that the opening night?
May 3rd. That's right. May 3rd.
Okay. At 125th Street and 5th Avenue. Okay.
That's right. National Black Theater.
National Black Theater. All right. Bye, sweetheart.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, that's really great. I can't believe this. Hello?
Hello, Jane. How are you?
Oh, hello. Is this the Chief Mandela?
Yes.
How are you? When I got a call in for the Chief Mandela, I said, Chief Mandela? Oh, that sounds so fabulous. I said, that's so wonderful. And I thought to myself, why would they call him Chief? Why is it called Chief Mandela? Who are you?
Well, my full name is Nkosi Zwelvelile Mandlesizwe Dalipu Mandela.
Oh, my
mouthful. But Nkosi is traditional leader. That's the title, Nkosi. It's traditional leader. Many people will say chief, but as traditional leaders, we never use the word chief because it sometimes filters out the meaning. You have a chief executive officer, you have a chief financial officer, so we rather use our traditional names being Nkosi.
Well, it's a wonderful name, and of course, Mandela. What better name could you have? And I was one of the first things I said. How are you related to Nelson Mandela?
Well, my father, first and foremost, Makhatu Lewanika Mandela, is a son, the second son to my grandfather from the first marriage of Evelyn Ntogomase. So I happen to be the eldest grandson to the former president Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, who was the founding father of our young democracy in South Africa.
Oh my! Well, you've got some pretty decent, very, very royal blood in you, as far as I'm concerned. That's so wonderful. You came aboard here today to talk about the Mandela Film Festival, and tell us about the festival. Why did you choose to do a festival in South Africa, and why now?
Well, the Mandela International Film Festival is really a celebration of my grandfather's legacy. First and foremost, my grandfather having been born out of the Eastern Cape, we have located the Mandela International Film Festival in the Eastern Cape. Where my grandfather comes from. I don't know what's causing that beeping.
I don't know that either. I'm looking around here. It's not me. You talking on a cell phone?
No, I'm talking on a landline.
Okay, all right. I'm here. Well, let's go on. Let's hope it stops.
Yeah. And the Mandela International Film Festival, it's located in the Nelson Mandela Metropole in the Eastern Cape, Port Elizabeth. And that is the province my grandfather was born in. And it is inspired by my grandfather, mainly because having spent 27 years in prison, he lived most of his life imagining and planning things outside the walls where he was imprisoned. For one, he has a quote that he defined as my love for the felt of open spaces, the simple beauties of nature, the clean lines of the horizon. When I am here, I feel that nothing can shut me in, and that my thoughts can roam as far as the horizon. And this really is what we want to inspire young South Africans and Africans in the continent to begin breaking through new horizons, capturing our heritage, culture and traditions through film, and be able to tell the African story. We want to place the Mandela International Film Festival as the biggest in the continent. As you know, we don't have much of film festivals back in our continent in Africa. So through the legacy of my grandfather, we want to give not only South Africans but Africans as a whole an opportunity to have a platform where they can showcase their arts.
Well, you know, that is such a marvelous idea, and I think you hit it on the nail when you say that we lack the information and the knowledge of what South Africa is all about. I just recently saw a trial with that guy with the amputee on, and I was more interested, as much as he's the reason I was looking at it, is that the people itself, the South African itself. I remember when they had Mandela's memorial funeral, and the people were, I think, we were more interested in looking at the people than we were at the dignitaries, you know. So I think that through film, that could be very very, very exciting, you know. And I'm sure that you chose to do a festival in South Africa, but how you do it, and you're doing it now. How are people going to get to South Africa?
Well, we have a national carrier being South African Airways, but has key strategic areas of entry ports being the OR Tambo International Airport, placed in Johannesburg. You also have the Cape Town International Airport, which is located in Cape Town in the Western Cape. That you are able to access flights out of JFK into Johannesburg, as well into Cape Town, and also from other parts of the US and the world. You have direct access into South Africa through Johannesburg and Cape Town. But I think for us, the Mandela International Film Festival is really about the triumph of humanity, because of the legacy of my grandfather, the challenges that Africa as a continent has been through. This is a continent of all our origins. Everything came out of Africa into inhabiting the world and populating the world. So the origins of man come out of Africa, and we need to celebrate our heritage, culture, and traditions as Africans. The embodiment of us being kings and royals needs to be found in today's literature and in today's filmmakers, but also the oppression of the continent, the oppression of an entire race also needs to be unmasked. We need to speak about these things, and I think one of the greatest lessons out of my grandfather, when he became a president and liberated our country, he came up with a task of nation building, reconciliation, and ensuring that there was unity in our country. And in order to achieve that, we need to learn fully and comprehend the challenges and the journey that he embarked on, that long walk to freedom that led to our people being emancipated.
Well, you know, where exactly in South Africa will the festival take place?
Well, the film festival will be located in the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan in Port Elizabeth, which is in the Eastern Cape, the home of legends. As you know, our province prides itself not only of resources, but of the legends that it has produced who have fully contributed to the struggle for liberation of our people. As you know, in the Eastern Cape, that is the birth province to Nelson Mandela, to Walter Sisulu, Govan Mbeki, Raymond Mhlaba, just to name a few. And these were the Rivonia trialists my grandfather went to prison with, men and women that dedicated themselves to ensuring that they liberate our country. So the freedom today, 20 years post our democracy, we are now celebrating through the Mandela International Film Festival those legends and their achievements, and this is why it is located in the Nelson Mandela Metro in Port Elizabeth. That is the city that has now become an embodiment of my grandfather's legacy in South Africa.
Well, you know, here in the States, we always hear about Cape Town. In fact, I hear Cape Town is beautiful, Johannesburg, and to be honest with you, you know, and somebody always says you want a crusade. I would love to go to South Africa. If you ever have any press junkets or anything like that, I'll even give you other names that you should bring to that, because I believe that all of us here, especially African Americans who really have not been in South Africa, it's a loss. It's a minus. We should have been there to see what it's about. And I want to ask you, do lots of American tourists visit the area? I mean, do they visit Port Elizabeth? Do they visit Cape Town? Do you get many visitors?
Oh yes, we certainly get a lot of visitors coming to South Africa, and particularly into the Eastern Cape. And I think one thing that has inspired us as a region, because of these icons that we have in our country, like Steve Biko, people that were inspired by the African American civil rights movement,
Yes.
and have drawn a lot of lessons out of that experience, and were able to come up with their own activities in ensuring that our people are able to connect with one another. And you would have seen a major exchange and relations in the oppressed South Africans, primarily black South Africans, with that of African American origins in the U.S. during the civil rights movement. People like Jesse Jackson, have a true passion and heart for South Africa, in particular for the Eastern Cape. And we do have endless relations in terms of our icons there. I know particularly the Steve Biko Museum in King Williamstown in the Eastern Cape does sometimes invite civil rights movement leaders to come and give lectures, and us as well with the Nelson Mandela Museum located in Mvezo, in Kunu, as well as in Mthatha, which are my grandfather's birthplace and his burial place. We have embarked on a tourism package for Americans and African Americans to be able to come to Madiba's birthplace, but also discover the home of legends, because, as I say, the Eastern Cape prides itself with these icons that sacrifice so much for our country and for us today to be able to enjoy the freedom that we have. So that is why it is placed in the Eastern Cape, to enable society at large to come and learn about the humble beginnings of this global icon.
Well, I've heard of a bunch of movies that have been filmed in South Africa, like Clint Eastwood, Viticus and Safe House with Denzel Washington. Even scenes from the new Avenger movies are being shot there. Is there a booming film industry in South Africa that we don't know about? Now that must be you, because that noise is you. Yeah, I don't know where, because I'm not touching anything, and it's making noise.
Yeah, they are looking at it here, but like I say, I'm speaking of the landline phone. So I don't know what.
I don't know what that is, but anyway, we were talking about the movies and the film industry of South Africa. Is that such a thing going on there?
Oh yes, South Africa has really become a destination for movie production, as you've mentioned. Invictus was shot there, even Safe House was also shot there. But for us, particularly in the country, through our government and the Department of Arts and Culture, we are ensuring that this could be an industry for young South Africans to look into and gain opportunities of work. So we are encouraging our young people to look at it as a career, to be able to get involved in and be able to create jobs. So our government, through the Department of Arts and Culture, has come fully to be in support of this initiative. But I think also it enables our young people to begin telling the African story, telling about the many challenges that we've gone through, but also the love stories embedded in those oppressed communities, and the various segregation challenges and demarcations that we've had will also be able to enlighten people how relations between cross-racial boundaries were able to thrive during an oppressive regime such as an apartheid regime. So we are looking forward to young people really coming into this industry and ensuring that they do quite a lot to unmask and begin telling the story of not only South Africa but the continent at large.
I am so aware, and I mean it's always been, and whenever you read a newspaper, people talk about the South Africans' unemployment rate and how very high it is, and how, and they all. I'm thinking to myself, how will the Mandela? See, that's you. Hello. Okay, that goes to. All right. Hello? Oh boy. I don't know what he did there, but you pressed the wrong button.
Something's going on. 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 Something's going on.
You know that. You know something's going on. I don't understand. I guess. And listen, everybody out there. It's not me. I pushed the right button. Hold on. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. There's something with your whatever's happening over there.
Yeah, I think they've just looked at the phone. It must have been the battery of the phone in the hotel.
Okay, right.
But
all right.
Sorted now.
All right. Okay. All right, so let me just get back with you. So I was just talking about the unemployment and the fact that the rate is so high in South Africa, and I was wondering how would the Mandela International Film Festival make a positive difference? Is that going to help out at all?
Well, I think first and foremost, I'd be able to regard the issue of unemployment in our country has been adequately addressed by our ANC-led government. As you know, I'm a member of parliament, and in this fourth parliament led by our president, His Excellency Jacob Zuma, has ensured that we alleviate unemployment in our country, and particularly in rural areas. We were able to establish the Department of Rural Development and Land Reform to ensure that we create sustainable jobs in rural communities. And the Nelson Mandela International Film Festival seeks, and this is why it's located in Port Elizabeth in the Eastern Cape, because this is one of the most impoverished provinces in South Africa. And we seek to ensure that we create jobs in this industry because, as you know, film goes hand in hand with music and other associated industries. So out of this, we are hoping that particularly young women and young people will be able to come into the industry and be creative, and through visualities will be able to look at this field in order to ensure they create jobs. They are able to get into the other associated industries with film to bring about sustainable jobs in the region. So we are very excited about this as the family, and knowing that through my grandfather's legacy, we will be able to ensure that we better the lives of our people.
Well, you know, it seems as though you really, the people who called me were very, very excited about what you're doing, this film festival. In fact, I think it's this evening you're going to sort of relaunch it. Is that correct?
Oh, yes. Tonight we have the launch of the Mandela International Film Festival here in New York. Mm-hmm. We are all excited about it, and we are looking forward to a successful event this evening.
Well, you know, I don't want to miss anything because I think you went over it lightly, but you said that you it's all going to take place in the, and I don't know how to pronounce this. I don't want to pronounce it wrong, but the Mvezo village. And what is this? That's a small village on the banks of the of a river, not far from everything in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. And the village is mainly known as being the birthplace of Nelson Mandela, whose family serves as its chief as its chief dynasty. I mean, so this is really centered around Mandela.
Oh yes, Mvezo first and foremost prides itself as one being the place where the roots of the Mandela chieftaincy and the royal family are located. But most significantly, it prides itself as the birthplace of a global icon, that being my grandfather, Nelson Mandela. But this is one of the areas we will be able to showcase while our tourists and people come to the Mandela International Film Festival. But the main location for the festival will be in Port Elizabeth, within the Nelson Mandela Metropole, which is a great area in the Eastern Cape. It's one of our biggest cities in South Africa, and it's set right on the coastal line of South Africa in warm waters of the Indian Ocean. It is also in an area being in the Eastern Cape that prides itself with a rich heritage that stems back to the 16th century. As you know, through colonization, the first conflicts that were unmasked out of South Africa were the frontier wars between the British colonial government and the natives in South Africa. So this is an area that has a rich heritage and a rich history, and we hope that through cultural tourism and having people come to witness the Mandela International Film Festival, will not only learn about Mvezo being the birthplace of Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, but will learn about these heroes and heroines of our country throughout the Eastern Cape that have contributed to our struggle for liberation. But like I said, this is not only a platform to South Africa, it's a platform to the continent, and the entire movement in the continent of leaders like Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Nyerere, and Lumumba, who contributed in the independence of our continent. So we are really looking to place this Mandela International Film Festival as a gateway to Africa.
That sounds so exciting. You know, I don't want you to get off this air without me telling. I mean, I have a little for your information segment here, which is that in 2 years you have achieved, who I'm speaking to now, Chief Mandela, have achieved the following, and that you built and established the Mandela Technology School and a $10 million investment by Siemens or Siemens. So what could you tell us quickly about that?
Well, as a traditional leader, our family chieftaincy had been lost to us for over 87 years,
yes.
Having been stripped away by a white magistrate during the colonial times. Mm-hmm. But in April 2007, we were able to restore that, and I was given the opportunity to serve at the head of the Royal House of Mandela as the traditional leader. And since then, we embarked on establishing the Mvezo Traditional Council and the Mvezo Development Trust, which is tasked with bringing about development in Madiba's birthplace. The Mandela School of Science and Technology has by far been our greatest success, which is a high school, first of its kind, state-of-the-art facilities built and funded by Siemens global company out of Germany through the perseverance of Peter Losho, the former CEO. But we've also engaged in other developmental projects, like we are building the Mvezo Komkhulu Museum, which will be the embodiment of the Mandela legacy. It is being funded by the National Lottery. There is also the Department of Tourism that is building a backpackers lodge and the self-catering lodge for the visitors and the tourists that come to Madiba's birthplace. So we have been doing quite a number of development in the community to ensure that our people have access to jobs right in their doorsteps, instead of becoming migrant laborers and going to cities like Johannesburg to labor in mines.
Well, you know, I just listening to you, I get very, very excited, and I really wish you so much luck with this kickoff of the South African Film Festival. I just think that's so wonderful, and I hope that some of us here in the States will get to see some of that and its surroundings. And as far as you're concerned, Chief Mandela, I have to applaud you. You've done very well, and I'm sure your grandfather is somewhere smiling, knowing how much you're keeping the name in such a respectable and dignified way. You're doing a marvelous and magnificent job.
Oh, thank you, Jean. I think the only thing that we will forever strive to uphold, which is something my grandfather left us with, is that as the Mandelas, we should continue being of service to our people. And that's the only thing that drives us today, to ensure that we better the lives of our people, and we continue in his legacy to ensure that we are of service not only to our communities and our country, but the continent and the global community at large. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. You're fabulous. And as I don't want to repeat myself, but Mandela's looking down on you this morning. He's very, very happy to have you here. And I'm happy to have you in the States. And you know what? I'm going to see you, Chief Mandela, this evening. I'm going to say hello to you. So I'm going to
forward to seeing you.
Right. And I'm so glad I can call you Chief Mandela, and I don't have to pronounce all those words.
Yes, not about full of words.
Yes,
so
yes.
We're looking forward to seeing you this
Okay,
evening.
I will see you later on. Thank you so much for this interview.
You're most welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's so cool. I mean, could you imagine having to say all those words? Could you just even think that you could even try? I mean, you know, but we got through that. Listen, we getting on here. Representative Charles Rangel, oh, that ain't bad, you know. And then the Amiri Baraka, and then Anna Cruz with the health thing, and you know, and now Chief Mandela. Now I'm waiting for the Sharon Lopez. I'm gonna be too much this morning. But she's gonna be talking about figure skating, which is the love of my life. I love figure skating, and in Harlem. So let's see. Hello.
Hey, June, this is not Sharon Lopez. This is Flo Wiley. How you doing?
Oh, hi, Flo Wiley. What is it?
I just wanted to say to your listeners that all of the events for the National Urban Health Conference...
I know, but I got another call coming in, all right?
That's free. That's all I just wanted to say. All the events are free.
Okay, I love it. Thank you.
Okay.
Call me back later.
We are not defined
Okay.
by our circumstances.
Hello.
Hi, Jean. It's Sharon Lopez.
Oh, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Fine, sweetheart. You know me. When I get ready to push a button, I get nervous. And somebody called me. I was like, oh my god. But he said, no, the events that was happening with Everett is free. But you know what? I've been looking for you, Sharon Lopez.
How was your trip? Are we on air?
Yes, we on air.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay, how was your trip? I hope you had a great time.
Right, this is called community radio.
All righty then.
Well, Sharon, it was wonderful, and you know, I just had such a nice time, and so deserving. I mean, as everybody knows out there, I went to 7 islands in Hawaii, and yes, I was really something. And then
my God.
I went to Las Vegas and saw a little bit of the Jackson 5 back in
that sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was, and I met my girlfriend Cindy that I went to college with, and so it was just one of those kind of up and down and all around trips. But anyway, I
love it.
I never leave Harlem. And I come back here and I'm looking for Sharon Lopez. I'm like, where is she with the ice skates? You know?
Thank you.
And you know what? I told you when I saw you, I said, Sharon, whenever you do ice skating, please call me.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sharon, that's my love. I say this quick. I believe that if I had a program that you had now, that I'd be an ice skater. I would have been an ice skater. I remember
the program?
Yes, I remember going every day to the outside rink park and then to Empire skating rink, and I remember that everybody who could do anything beyond what I could do had to have lessons. You had to have lessons. Mm-hmm. You cannot go and to do figure skating on ice without lessons.
That is correct, Jean. And that's the beauty of the program, because so many of our girls who live in Upper Manhattan and the Bronx and in neighborhoods like ours are not exposed. I mean, where are you going to skate?
Yes.
And who do you see who looks like you or lives near you or who you know who skates? And so
that's true. I know who looks like you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, because you know what? And I don't want to interrupt you, but it's sort of relegated to coal communities, suburban communities, where people can just go to outside and skate all around any old day. And I mean, we just don't have that.
Well,
you know?
I'll tell you, it's one of the things, we're blessed. We have Riverside Bank Park near us now, which is the main place where we skate.
Yes.
We skate at Lasper, sometimes too at 110th Street.
Yeah.
But one of the challenges for us is because we live in the climate we live in, there's a lot of competition to get ice time. There are a lot of kids that, play hockey. And so, we're competing with them for ice time. And then, some of the girls that actually are in skate clubs. And, because it is a covered rink, but not an enclosed rink, it puts us even more at risk because if it gets too hot, global warming, the climate is changing all the time. It might be 60 in December, which means that we have, soupy ice that we can't skate on. Or it might be 2 degrees, and it's a lot. And these girls are so committed. They're out there skating, but it is a lot to ask them to do that.
Oh, it's
one of the things that we're looking at actually as we grow, and the organization's been around for 17 years, is to get an enclosed rink, see if we can enclose Riverbank, build a rink. I mean, those are some of the things that we're looking at as the organization continues to grow.
Well, I looked at the rink there, and I just looked at, and you gotta, everybody, our audience, listen to this. Every now and then, one of the skaters might fall. And when they fall, you would think someone go like, oh, you should see the audience. They all applaud. They go, get up, you're fabulous. Go, girl.
That's right. That's right. That's one of the key tenets of the program too. And I don't want anyone to think that it's just skating. That skating is kind of icing on the top. Yeah. But one of the key principles about learning to skate is that when you fall, it helps you get better.
Yes.
And you keep getting better. So, and that's a key principle in life. If you fall, if you fail, you keep going, you keep getting up. But the other part of the program is that it's an academic support program.
Okay.
So the girls are there, 4 to 5 afternoons a week. They get several hours of ice skate time, but they also get several hours, like 12 to 15 hours a week, combined with academic tutoring, leadership skills, life skills.
I heard them when they were graduating. 9,000 of them go to college.
That's right. They all go to college, some sort of college. Absolutely. So it's amazing, and it's kind of like when I walk through the classrooms. We have an academic center on 125th Street where we have the after-school classes. And I get that kind of old school feeling, like when I was in school, and you had teachers that, really looked at who you are, who really helped you with your critical thinking. There's a huge focus on writing, reading and writing, because it's just so important. And the girls we have the room set up so it's 1 tutor for 3 girls. So they really get some individual attention.
Wow.
They really get support.
Gold.
And it's synced up with what they're doing at school. I mean, we always get their report cards. We do assessments. We work with the schools to really help bring the girls up and make them good students and make them be happy to be smart. Like, it's cool to be smart.
Oh, how lucky those girls are. How many do you have?
So we have 200.
Oh!
We do 200 a year.
That's a nice number.
Yeah, in the school program, which is October to May. Then we have a summer camp called Summer Dreams, and the girls are there 4 days a week. So, we do 200. We would love to do more.
Sharon, that's so fabulous.
Yeah.
But, I tell you, it's things like that this Board of Ed and the schools are not providing this anymore. Right. I mean, I remember when I got out of school at 3 o'clock, I could go to Bluebirds, I could go to after school, I could go to tennis, I could go do lots of things because they were in the community. Now it's almost bare.
Yes,
and it's just we're dying for activities and extracurricular like this, and to be able to go over to a park in Harlem on 145th Street with your stuff and go there and get not only training in a sport such as ice skating, which is unheard of, especially into a black community. Not only that, then get the educational, the tutoring that it takes.
Yes, and
that?
you know, it's a community. I mean, I believe everything is done better in community. And so these girls, they really bond. They bond with the girls. This is their village. They bond with the tutors, you know, the counselors. It's a real support system for girls, many of whom who don't have support in their families or their neighborhoods. So it really has an impact not only on them, and one of the things that excites me so much is when I interview the girls for different things, and they always talk about how the program helps them understand their worth and their value, and not only that, but how important it is to show the world who they are.
Oh.
Now, that's just priceless.
That is priceless.
Yeah.
And you know what? I mean, again, I'm getting back to ice skating. Ice skating is what they call it, no joke. You can't fudge it out there. You know, when you're on your bare feet and you're dancing on the stage, you know, you could trip over your foot, and you know. But if you don't turn at the right time on the ice with everybody else, you talk about teamwork. That's solid teamwork, isn't it?
It is. It is. We now have 3 synchronized skating teams. So we're now at the point where we can compete with skaters who have the private lessons you talked about, who have access to inside rinks. But we are now able to be in that competitive space. And we're new to it, and you know, we have gotten gold a couple of times, but you know, we have a long ways to go. But just the whole idea that we can now be in that space, and I have to tell you, Jean, when we go to some of these competitions, you would think that our girls are on other teams, because when our girls come out, and you know how impressive it is to see, you know, all these brown-skinned girls come out in their costumes and do their thing. Everybody in the arena is applauding for them and encouraging.
I know. And you know what? Let me ask you one thing too. Who does those costumes? I mean, they were coming out. They were looking so fly. And I was sitting there with B. Michael.
Yes.
And I said to him, "Did you do the costumes?" You know, and he said, and he looked almost dejected. He said, "No." I said, "Well, you should ask him. Could you do them?"
That would be so amazing.
Why don't you ask him?
And you know, B. Michael is a huge supporter of the organization.
Yes,
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. There's a real connection with fashion and figure skating.
Yes.
You know, Vera Wang used to be a skater, and she's done a lot of costumes for the professional skaters. And there's just that connection. There's just a lot of the fashion world works hand in hand with the skating world. Now, we have a skating director who used to be a skater and has been a coach for 30 years, and she's the one who secures. So she has, you know, ways to get these fabulous outfits for these tiny little girls. But
they're like a pencil in themselves. So you know the costumes were made just for them, because I don't even think I could get my arm in one of them, you know.
Exactly.
They are so cute. I mean, you know what I say to you, Sharon. What do you do during the summer? What's this summer thing coming up?
So we have a summer camp for the girls. It's 6 weeks. We skate at a rink out in Queens, and they also, like, half the day is at the academic center, so they get to keep up with their schoolwork. We're not going to have a whole summer of them, you know, not paying attention to the books.
Yeah.
And then they go out and skate in the afternoons to an indoor rink. And then we provide lots of trips and cultural, you know, experiences. And one of the great things is that we expose the girls to many different business and corporate situations. Like, you know, we've been down at Nickelodeon and Viacom and met the most powerful women in that organization, at Sony, at News Corp. So, again, it's an opportunity for them to see, feel, touch people who look like them, many of them who have come from similar backgrounds, who have done amazing things. And they get to see, oh, this is a possibility for me.
Oh, I can't, I'm going to tell everybody in the audience here, Sharon and I were supposed to speak last week, and I had, da-da-da-da-da, and then this week I got this pamphlet about the summer thing, and I said, I'm going to find her. And And I am the worst. I'm the worst person on the computer. You should have seen me going like, Sharon Lopez, Sharon Lopez. I was looking for your name. I found you.
Yes, you did.
I said late last night. I said, hey, Sharon, talk to you tomorrow.
And you know what, Gene? I love so much that, your enthusiasm. And you came to the rink that night, and I know you were freezing.
I was freezing.
And you came and told me, I gotta go. And I said, well, just watch a couple of numbers.
Yes.
And you stayed till the end.
I did. I was sitting there. I was
huddling up.
Oh, you got me down.
Pleased that you decided to stay.
I was like, I'll be out here freezing, but it was worth every cold moment I enjoyed. Every cold moment I enjoyed. I just want to thank you, though, Sharon, and your organization for doing that for us. Because when something like this happens in our community, it is a family, and it is something that you've done for all of us. We should all be included in that. And I just always know you got a fan here, and the next time you all have anything, a little thing, a tiny thing, you call me. And let me know.
I sure will. And if anybody wants to find out more about us, just go to the website, figureskatinginharlem.org.
That's all you do? Figureskatinginharlem.org? And then put when they answer, you say, and let me speak to Sharon Lopez.
There you go. Absolutely.
All right. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Love you too. See you soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye. Yeah, she's great. Okay. I can't believe this now. I'm wondering, who is this? Hold on. Hello?
Hi, this is Jess Dotson. How are you?
Oh, yes. Hi. Has that you been calling me? Because, yeah, that's all right. I should have told you, just call me on the dot. How you doing, sweetheart? Okay. Listen, everybody out here. This is Dotson. And what's your first name?
Jessica.
Jessica Dotson. And I am so close to, I don't know who she is to you, but your aunt or whatever. She is such a great friend of mine, Jeanette Dotson. In fact, Jeanette, when she has 10 cents, she sends it to us. She contributes so much to our station and backs us up. And I want her. She called me. She says, I have a niece. She is so fabulous. She's doing this. She's doing that. And I said, well, I don't have a lot of time, but she can come on and tell me what she's doing. I said, I want to know.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what's going on? Tell me what's going on with you.
Oh, well, right now I'm actually sitting outside of my directing class waiting for it to begin.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very excited about a couple films that are coming out that were written and directed by me. Can I tell you about them?
Sure, yes.
Well, this weekend I am being shown in the New Jersey Film Festival. My film, Reverse Serendipity, was chosen out of 300 some odd films to be shown this weekend, so I'm very excited about that. It's gained a lot of traction. It was my first film that I ever did, so I'm very excited with all the I guess hype I could say that it's getting.
Yeah. What's the name of it?
It's called Reverse Serendipity.
Oh gosh, what's that about?
Well, it's about it's taking a look at an excerpt of a man's life and looking at why he would do good deeds for another person.
Okay.
And the reverse part really plays into the movie, so you guys should check it out.
Oh boy, well, how are we going to check it out? Where do you go to check it out?
Well, it's not online for the New Jersey Film Festival, but it's actually going to be online for the American Online Film Festival that I was accepted for. So I can, all you have to do is look up American Online Film Festival for 2014, and it will be up on there, so you guys can check it out there. Or you can go onto my Vimeo page. I just searched Jessica Dotson Vimeo, and all my films will be on there that I've ever made.
Well, tell me something quickly. How did you get involved in all of this? When did you decide to make films? That's kind of a major, mature project there.
Yeah, well, it's a funny story. I came into college really not knowing what I wanted to do with my life.
Yes.
But I knew I liked to write and express myself, and I joined the Broadcast Communications Living Learning Community at Rutgers, and they were like, yes, you can write, you can do whatever you want, you can be as creative as you want. And from there, I wrote, little, videos and stuff like that, but then I got into Campus Movie Fest from them, and I wrote Reverse Serendipity, and from there I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to make films. I want to express myself through films, and I don't want to sound braggish, but I think I'm pretty good at it.
Well, I think so. In fact, Jeanette was trying to tell me how you rated in out of 400, you was 126 or something.
In the New Jersey Film Festival, there was 392 films sent in, and only 100 or so were picked, and mine was one of those 100. And in Campus Movie Fest this year, 86 films were sent in, and the top 16 were only shown, and my film was one of the top 16 this year again. So I was very excited about that.
Oh, gotta be. What was the name of that one?
This film was called Widow, and it's about, well, I don't want to give it too much away, but it's about a man and a woman, and they're on a date, and their dinner date goes horribly wrong. So, and I was really pleased with the progress from my first film to this film. This film looks amazing. My team and I were very excited about it. So,
and you say team? Who do you have? I mean, what other people do you get involved with this filmmaking? Do you have your own crew?
Oh, well, on the floor, in the broadcast communications living learning community, there's a bunch of people that are interested in film and TV and all that kind of stuff. So we always are working together. Actually, in my class right now, I have 4 friends from that community in the same class, so we're always working on each other's projects and stuff like that. So we're the ones that came up with, or like they're the ones that helped me on these 2 films that are in these festivals and stuff like that.
Well, I'll tell you something. I if I could do it again, and I know many people say that, I'd like to reinvent and reincarnate myself and come back at your age, because the things that you're doing now, we couldn't touch when I was coming through here. And no, you didn't. Somebody making a movie and young and black. Oh no. You can, that just didn't happen. And you know what? It's okay. That's all right. Life moves on. But what's so wonderful about it, that it is moving on, and so we're getting people like you who are. How old are you now?
I'm 20.
Oh my God. You're a baby. That's so wonderful. And that's what I'm saying. You've got all this time that you work. You're sitting out in front of a directing class. Give me a break. Oh, I like that, So anyway, but thank you so much for informing us. And you know what? I think about you. I think I'm going to hear from you again.
So thank you so much for having me on.
You are so welcome. And when you get ready to do another project or something you think that we'd be interested in, I told Jeanette to tell you to call me earlier, and I don't have to squeeze you in. You just will be a part of the show. All right?
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And you know what? Go, girl. That's all I got to say to you. Go, girl. And you make the Dotsons proud.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. I love you. All right. And you, next time you do a movie or a film or something, tell Jeanette to bring me along with her, because I want to see them too. Okay?
Awesome. I'll let you know. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so I guess I got it all. Okay, I didn't get it all. No. Okay, I got it. I gotta get it all. And here I go.
What kind of fool am I? Never a fool. Won't let my heart rule my mind again. Love hurt my pride again. Never a fool. Won't let the tears ease my pain again. Gave all I had to give.
Flo Wally, if you want to tell me something via the phone, I'm available.
So much a fool, and I showed it. I was naive and believed everything you said to me. What kind of fool am I?
had a really wonderful morning, and I mean I had a wonderful morning. A Gene Parnell morning when the phone goes dead and the noises and connected, disconnected, and all that. What would you do if I was perfect? You just wouldn't like me. All right, so you know that I'm back in town. This is Gene Parnell and his City Lights, and today we sort of lit up the city this morning. We made it happen, and Charlie Rangel, and then the health people. Oh, they're going to be doing so many fabulous things here in the city, and you got that, Anna Cruz, and then you had the Amiri Baraka group that's going to be down at the National Black Theater at May 3rd. So they're wonderful to remember and to think about. And then who's more fabulous than Chief Mandela? I love that part of it. And so he's around and going over our programs in the ice skaters of Harlem, and that magnificent program headed by so many wonderful people and given to us through the graces of Sharon Lopez. And then last but not least, Dotson is making movies. My girlfriend's, kid, I don't know what they're related to, but the Dotsons is the Dotsons, and they're doing wonderful things in film. And this is Gene Parnell with you, closing up for the evening, for the afternoon, or maybe, hey, what's right, it's the morning. Okay, have a good one, and I love you madly. Bye-bye. I think Flo, Riley was trying to tell me that program with the health is all free. Everything is free. Bye-bye.
Whcr 90.3 FM, New York.
Variedades Latinas es música, alegría, entretenimiento, farándula, deportes, noticias, comentarios y mucho más.
Ahora se inicia tu programa favorito, Variedades Latinas. Variedades Latinas. Con Arismendi Méndez y Martín de la Cruz.
Variedades Latinas, lo mejor de Nueva York. Música, farándula y mucho más. Un manantial de información. Y aquí llegó el fiel de la radio. Puntual y al día, Arismendi García. Ahora te invitan a disfrutar.
Y buenos días, ¿qué tal mi gente? Placer inmenso estar de regreso con ustedes. Hoy es miércoles, mitad de semana 23 del mes de abril, año 2014. Buenos días, bienvenido a este su espacio Variedades Latinas, el impacto musical, como cada lunes, miércoles y viernes, 10 a 2 de la tarde a través de Whcr 90.3 FM, la voz tropical de Harlem. Espero que la estén pasando súper bien, súper chévere. La invitación es para que nos acompañen hasta las 2 de la tarde en este maravilloso día con Variedades Latinas. Recuerde, hoy es miércoles y se extiende por hora y media más la tarde romántica a partir de las 2 hasta las 3.